Welcome once again, everybody, to another episode of B&B Hockey Talk. Matt Balzer, I am with, and I am Aaron Bloxel. As we bring to you another Around the NHL segment here on B&B Hockey Talk. If you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe on YouTube or hit that like button on our Facebook page, where we bring this show to you 3 times a week, Mondays and Fridays Around the NHL segment, and our Vancouver Canucks special edition on Wednesdays. Matt, lots to go over. Let's jump right into it, starting with the NHL's 3 stars of the week.
All right. So third star of the week going to the New York Islanders, Brock Nelson. In 3 games, he had 4 goals, 5 points. 2 of his goals were OT winners, and he also played in his 500th career game this week as well. He's now up to 8 goals, 19 points in 21 games. The Islanders extended their point streak to 17 straight games. They lost in overtime to San Jose, but they're now 15-0-2 in that point streak. Still boggles my mind. And then second star, returning to the list once again, Connor McDavid. In 4 games, had 4 goals, 7 points. He had a goal, 3 points against San Jose, 2 goals against Vegas, and he scored the shootout winner against Arizona last night and also had an assist in that game. He is currently on a 12-game point streak where he has 12 goals and 24 points, and he's now up to 18 goals, 47 points in 26 games this season. Just absolutely insane.
It's absolutely insane.
And then the first star of the week from the Boston Bruins, Brad Marchand. In 3 games, he had 3 goals, 7 points. He had a 3-assist game against New Jersey. He scored 2 goals against Buffalo, and he had a goal and an assist against Minnesota. He is now up to 16 goals, 39 points in just 23 games this season, as him and David Pastrnak continue to absolutely rip it up in the Boston area. And another thing on Boston, with that win in that comeback overtime win against Minnesota, they stayed perfect on home ice with no losses through regulation. They are now 9-0-4 on home ice this year. Only team not to lose in regulation so far on home ice.
It's a great home record, absolutely. Let's get into a weird situation. I'm saying it's weird, but I guess it's probably more common, or it's happened more in the past than we know. But Mike Babcock gets let go last week. We talked about that on the last episode. And now it comes out, some of the things that he did psychologically with the players, including something with Mitch Marner. I'll let you touch on the basics. And it's come out since that, a couple of his old Red Wing players have said that he did this to them as well in Detroit. It's interesting tactic. I don't know if I like it nowadays, but it doesn't surprise me that old school coaches used to do stuff like this. And this is probably pretty tame compared to, some of the other coaches that were out there. Because I know Mike Keenan used to do some terrible stuff to his players.
Oh yeah. Especially if you listen to any of the Spin Chicklets podcast for like some of the retired players, when they touch on some of their coaches, like whenever somebody's had like Mike Keenan or like Mike Milbury as their coaches, they always ask for any crazy stories or whatever. So it is a common thing, but it's still crazy when you hear them. So bear with me. I'll touch on the story and then quotes from Marner and Babcock as well. So one tale related to us the past few days that is said to have occurred in the 2016-17 season during the annual Father's Trip. Babcock was alleged to have asked one of the Leafs rookies to list the players on the team, from the hardest working to those in the eyes of the rookie didn't have a strong work ethic.
The rookie was on and off the ice, I think we referred to as well.
Yeah. The rookie not wanting to upset his new coach was taken aback when Babcock told the players who had been listed at the bottom after one of the games, which is just crazy. So Marner, who was asked about it today, had this quote. It was just surprising. I was lucky enough that the guys that were there with me, none of them took it to heart, and they knew it wasn't up to me. And Elliot Friedman tweeted out a text that he had got from Mike Babcock. Babcock was saying, I was trying to focus on work ethic with Mitch. Focusing on role models ended up not being a good idea. I apologized at the time. but all in all, it's just crazy because like imagine if you're in the dressing room and then all of a sudden you get thrown under the bus like that. Not only that, you got like your father. It's the father's trip as well. I was sort of joking. Like imagine coming out and to tell your dad that you just got thrown under the bus, saying you're like at the bottom of the list there, but. It's like it's an impossible situation for Mitch Marner because you're a rookie. You don't want to be like you don't want to get thrown under the bus or get yelled at or do anything wrong. And you think it's just a private thing sort of thing. And then all of a sudden the head coach just drops that in the dressing room in front of everybody. So it's just something that should never have been happen. Should never have happened. And there's different mind games or whatever psychological stuff that coaches can do that would have been better. But yeah, it's just absolutely insane.
Well, I know Keefe is 2-0 since taking over the Maple Leafs. It looks like the players are more relaxed and having more fun. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure what that looks like, but it sounds like they're trending in the right direction now. And it's funny because I saw an article, I think it was this morning or last night, that showed Chris Chelios taking a shot at Mike Babcock last year in an interview and asked about coaches.
Oh yeah, it's not surprising. Like Mike Commodore is the guy that everybody brings up when it comes to Mike.
It's funny because they were talking about Joel Quenneville being fired last year, and he said, well, hopefully he gets hired, or hopefully they fire Babcock and he gets rehired right away. And it was like a shot at Babcock, but I don't believe. I kind of thought Babcock never coached Chelios, but I think he might have in Detroit. Now that I think about it, so. It was just weird that there's a lot like Mike Commodore obviously is one of the leading players that hates Mike Babcock on Twitter and everything else, but there's a lot of other ones now coming out of the woodwork and sharing some stories. Just for everybody, it's like it is a common thing or whatever. It's just that these stories don't usually get leaked out until like unless if it's something like major or unless if it's like retired players. Sort of going out, but yeah, it's just something that just should never have happened, as I brought up before. But yeah, it's like you brought up the Leafs are 2-0. They had a big win against Colorado. Tyson Barrie in his return to Colorado scored a second goal in 2 games and added an assist as well. The Leafs watched a bit of that. Watch that first period of that game. And yeah, they're super exciting to watch once again. And Austin Matthews with another nice snipe in that game as well. So, but yeah, it looks like they're trending in that right direction with the couple switches that they've made, especially getting Tyson Barrie on that top power play unit. On that same game, Alex Kerfoot back in Colorado takes out his old friend Eric Johnson with a crazy cross-checking of the board play. Looked pretty dangerous. Ends up getting suspended for 2 games on it. But the bigger suspension, I think, was, I believe, Joel Edmondson on Victor Arvidsson.
Robert Bortuzzo.
Sorry, that's what I thought. Edmondson's the one in Carolina now. But yeah, so Bortuzzo taking out Arvidsson. What's the update on that one?
Yeah, so Bortuzzo was suspended 4 games for vicious cross-check on Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson's out 4 to 6 weeks with a lower body injury. So basically what happened was Arvidsson was sort of going to the net, and Bortuzzo cross-checked him in the back into the net. And he was getting called for a cross-checking penalty. He looked at the ref and sort of put his hands up in the air and then turned around and then cross-checked Arvidsson right in the lower back where there's like no padding whatsoever, and he went down awkwardly. It was just one of those things where it's just like he saw that he was getting a penalty, then he was just like, well, screw this, I'm just do it again, which was a dangerous play. I was wanting him to get more games. He's considered a repeat offender. Arvidsson's out long term with an injury, which you also got to take into account. And he's shown that he's done this before. I saw there was video of him that I saw on Twitter yesterday that got posted of him on Brock Nelson actually as well, where he got called for cross-checking. He delivered a couple more cross-checks after when he thought Nelson might have gone down a little easily or something like that. So it's just one of those things where it's dumb, and I wish George Peros and the NHL player safety had really cracked down with a bigger suspension, because if you look at Alex Kerfoot, only getting 2 games. And that was his first suspension. Bertuzzo being a repeat offender, only getting 4 games and seriously injuring a player.
I don't know if you have the stat there or not, but I saw somewhere that Bortuzzo is forfeiting around $67,000.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that is a pretty big slap on the arm for a guy like Bortuzzo. So I mean, hopefully that makes him think twice, because that is a lot of money out of someone's pocket for that cross check.
Yeah, it's just I still wish they would have gone closer to at least like the 8+ games. But that's the thing with NHL player safety. That's the one thing everybody says. It's just like there's no consistency and whatever. It's like when suspensions come up, you just sort of put your hands up in the air and say, okay, that's what we're going with, or there's hits or whatever where you think there's going to be a suspension and then there isn't. So, but yeah, I just wish it was around like that 8+ games. For him being a repeat offender and seriously injuring Arvidsson.
We have a lot of players coming back from injury and some new players injured as well. Why don't we touch on those?
Yeah. So some bigger names that we already touched on. Arvidsson. Steven Stamkos is still out day-to-day with a lower body injury, but Nikita Kucherov did return on the weekend and had a big game against Anaheim, and he also scored today as well.
Yeah, I saw he scored a goal today.
And then the Oilers will be missing Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for at least the next 2 games with a hand injury. The Detroit Red Wings lost Anthony Mantha to a lower body injury. According to their coach, Jeff Blashill, he's going to be out for a little while. So that's a big loss to that top line. And then the Winnipeg Jets suffered a couple big injuries to their bad defense already. But they lost Josh Morrissey and Nathan Beaulieu. Both the injuries. There haven't been any updates yet, but Morrissey was needed to be helped off the ice, and Bulio could be out for some time as well. And then Lawson Krause and with Arizona, and Drake Kajulia with Chicago are both looking in concussion protocol. I didn't see what happened to Kajulia, but I saw Krause. He went basically head first into the boards and wasn't able to stop himself, crashing pretty hard there. And then some guys returning for Anaheim, Hampus Lindholm, big return for Anaheim for their defense, getting their top defenseman back there. Mikko Rantanen was practicing in a non-contact jersey today, but head coach Bednar said if everything goes well tomorrow, he should be in the lineup on Wednesday. So that's huge for Colorado, getting Rantanen back. And also TJ Brody returned to the lineup tonight after that scary collapse in practice last week, along with Chris Letang for Pittsburgh also returned in their head-to-head matchup there between the Flames and Penguins. So another big all-star coming back. And then just on a Canucks note, a bunch of names here. Brandon Sutter returned to practice today. Michael Furlan's going to join the team in Pittsburgh coming up here. Antoine Roussel got sent down to Utica on a conditioning stint, so he's super close. And Jay Beagle is considered day-to-day right now. And Alex Edler survived an injury scare against Washington where it looked like he took like a skate cut to his arm, possibly. There was no update on there. And also still no update on Olli Juolevi and his mysterious lower body injury. They're still waiting to hear back on that front.
It's a lot of injuries. We also have a handful of milestones this week. Why don't we touch on that? Actually, before we do, why don't we touch on the Keith Yandel situation where he gets a random dump in right to the mouth yesterday and loses 9 teeth in the first, misses the second period, comes back in the third, keeps the Iron Man streak going.
Yeah, so he did that, and then the next morning he had to get dental work. And then since the Panthers were playing in back-to-back games, he came on with a full face shield and played against Carolina to keep his consecutive game streak going. He's now played in 821 consecutive games, which is the current leader in among current players right now. So yeah, just great to see that. But yeah, I think they actually posted a picture of himself on Twitter today, of him at the dentist and all the missing teeth and everything. That did not look good whatsoever. But man, talk about like a hockey player, like a true hockey player moment right there. Just losing that many teeth and still returning to the game is just boggles my mind.
Well,
But yeah,
he's reaching for the milestone of most games played in a row, the
yeah.
Ironman record. But there's other milestones as well. Another silver stick handed out, and others.
Yeah, so Jeff Carter and Corey Perry officially got their silver sticks for playing in 1,000 games in the NHL. A couple other games played. Duncan Keith played in his 1,100th career game. We saw Brent Seabrook reach that mark last week. So they're two big franchise defensemen there, getting up there in the games played. Sean Couturier played in his 600th career game. He also became the youngest Flyer to reach 600 games in franchise history. Andrei Vasilevsky became the Tampa Bay Lightning's all-time win leader, getting his 132nd career win, passing his former teammate Ben Bishop for the franchise lead there. Also, we have to go to Mike Smith in Edmonton. He picked up his 250th career win. A couple career goal milestones. Jacob Voracek scored his 200th career goal in the NHL, while Andre Palat scored his 100th career goal with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then a couple of cooler things. Valery Nichushkin, to give a shout out to him, he scored his first goal in the NHL since March 4th, 2016. Of course, he missed a couple of years in the KHL, but he won 57 games with no goals with Dallas last year, and he finally scored his 92 games in between goals. So a big shout out to him. And another big return, because we brought up Tyson Barrie earlier. Matt Zuccarello tonight, playing in his first game in New York against the Rangers. Got a huge Zook cheer from the fans there. You want to talk about a fan favorite? Matt Zuccarello he's going to be forever loved in that city for sure. And there's a couple other stats that I saw that really caught my eye. In the Edmonton Oilers Arizona Coyotes game last night in overtime, Leon Draisaitl played 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and Connor McDavid played 4 minutes of that 5-minute overtime. Which, hey, it's like when they're going, it's just insane. They basically just only took like one shift off in that overtime. Yeah, it just boggles my mind that the conditioning to stay out there for that long.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Dallas Stars are continuing to win. They're now second in the division. They've moved right up past, I guess,
Winnipeg and Colorado,
except for St. Louis now in that division. And the New York Islanders lost in overtime. Their win streak's kind of over, but they're 15-0-2 now in that streak. So they've gone 17 games now without a regulation loss.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, so Dallas 13-1-1 in their last 15 games. A big shootout win against Chicago. Anton Khudobin making 38 saves, including an insane backdoor split save on the goal line on Dominic Kubalik, and then robbing another Blackhawk on the rebound. Just crazy. And after the game, Robin Leonard, who lost in that shootout, he actually took to Twitter because I guess his shootouts most recent have not been going well. And he basically asked the Twitter universe and the expert media guys on a new shootout strategy to his game. So that's something to check out and that's on Robin Leonard's Twitter handle. Just to check out that thread, because it is pretty funny that he was asking. But he basically called the shootout, it's like it's not hockey sort of thing. And I still wouldn't mind a longer overtime, a 10-minute overtime of 3-on-3, but that just comes down to the timing and all that. But I do wish the NHL would eventually go to that mark, because I don't think you'd rarely see any games go to a shootout if it was a 10 minute.
Yeah, I think if it goes 10 minutes, 3-on-3, you're going to see shootouts almost become non-existent. Matt, I'll give you the final word before ending today's show.
All right. Yeah, so I'll have all of today's top highlights, including all from the Canucks game against the Flyers. They're currently tied 1-1 in the third period here. And I'll try to get as much up. I do have a late night hockey game tonight, so whatever I don't get to, I'll follow up tomorrow. And also, we have posted a poll question on our Facebook page. Just wanting to get some feedback from you guys on if you listen to the show, what we can do to improve it. If you'd like us to go to podcast or any other way, please vote. It doesn't matter. Like criticism, we'll take criticism. We just want to hear some feedback from you guys on what and how to improve the show.
Absolutely. Feedback is everything for us. So let us know what you think. I'm Aaron. He's Matt, and this has been B&B Hockey Talk around the NHL episode. We'll be back Wednesday with our Vancouver Canucks exclusive. And again, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, whether you're following us on Facebook or on YouTube. Let us know. Comment. Let us know about the show. Let us know what you want to see more of. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. We're grown men. We can take it. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.